Welcome to the 32nd year of the annual Air Force Association Brent Scowcroft Awards ceremony. I am Scott Warren, President of the Northern Utah AFA Chapter 235 and the host for today's proceedings. The Northern Utah chapter of the AFA established the Brent Scowcroft Awards banquet in 1989. This event is named for Lieutenant General Brent Scowcroft, who led the Scowcroft Commission to map the future of America's ICBMs. Originally, the event honored the top performers of the ICBM arena only. Since then, the Scowcroft Awards have expanded to include top performers in acquisition, sustainment, maintenance, logistics, supply chain in ICBM, and air dominance, as well as top munitions performers. Bottom line, the Brent Scowcroft Awards continue for a tradition of honoring the best of the best. Sadly, Lieutenant General Scowcroft passed away a year ago, but these awards continue to honor his legacy. Prior to 2020, the Scowcroft Awards banquet was scheduled in the March timeframe, but due to COVID-19 constraints and concerns, the chapter decided to substitute the banquet with a virtual awards ceremony. This change in venue was agreed upon after consultation with leadership in the ICBM, air dominance, and munitions communities. We thank our partners on Hill Air Force Base for working with us to ensure that this ceremony could happen this year.
Look, sweetheart, Daddy worked on that.
Wow!
I want your dreams to soar just like that rocket.
From here, we monitor the spacecraft and help the astronauts get home.
Dad, this is awesome.
You can become anything you want. And the sky's the limit.
Do you have what it takes?
Welcome. My name is Katie Vogel. At this time, I would like to acknowledge AFA state, national, and local Air Force Association leadership. AFA National Secretary, Mr. Rick Hartle. AFA National Director, West Area, Mr. Bob George. Utah AFA State President, Francis Bradshaw. And just like many other organizations, your Air Force Association cannot operate without the support of our sponsors. This year, I want to recognize our contributors: BAE Systems, Northrop Grumman, Jacobs, Booz Allen Hamilton, Strategic Defense Coalition, Keomac, Boeing, Lockheed Martin, General Dynamics Mission Systems, Aerojet Rocketdyne, Mantech, and SAIC. And though the banquet could not be held this year, it was uplifting to learn that our sponsors did not withdraw their sponsorship. It is only through the generosity of our industry sponsors for the Scowcroft Awards and other events that AFA is able to support our Air Force community through various activities, such as providing financial assistance to CCAF graduates, scholarships to AF ROTC and AF Junior ROTC cadets, financial grants for STEM education, select and honor Utah Teachers of the Year, and fun recreational activities for residents of the George E. Wallen Veterans Home. Through their generosity, we also help to fund activities such as base awards programs and retreats for our deploying airmen through the Wolf Creek Foundation. Our sponsors' generous contributions make it possible for us to recognize the hard work, dedication, and accomplishments of these fine nominees and awardees. Finally, a grand welcome to our nominees and guests, and all the colonels, directors, chiefs, and patriotic Americans watching who have taken their time to honor these fine men and women, and to the supervisors who took their time to recognize the people and nominate them for their respective communities in ICBM, aerospace dominance, supply chain, and munitions.
Minot Air Force Base, where only the best come north, and only the best of the best become Rough Riders. We pride ourselves on the grit, determination, and resolve it takes to maintain America's persistent, on-call, nuclear ICBM force in the Northern Tier. We do it with discipline, we take individual ownership of our mission, and we're accountable to ourselves, our teammates, and the nation that we serve. From the Blackburn Trophy to the back-to-back Chadwell wins, the 91st Maintenance Group has been recognized as the best in its class. From the High North, we offer you our best. Bully.
Hello, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Naomi Franchetti, Commander of the 649th Munitions Squadron.
And I'm Superintendent Chief Master Sergeant Brett Kim. Our mission is to rapidly deploy combat-ready munitions to sustain global operations.
We also support the nuclear enterprise by being the sole providers of the Mark 21 rear covers and spin gas generators.
The 748 Supply Chain Management Group has over 180 people solely focused on providing parts that keep the nation's strategic deterrent on alert 24/7, 365. We are responsible for 100% positive inventory control on all nuclear weapons related material managed by the Air Force Sustainment Center, as well as the planning and execution of the supply chain sustaining the ICBM. We're committed to get you the parts you need to ensure the readiness of our nation's nuclear arsenal, support national defense objectives, and enable war planning on a global scale.
Hello, my name is Bob George, and it was my distinct honor to work with my fellow Chapter 235 member Jim Adlin to manage the awards competition this year. Scowcroft nominations and awards fall into two categories: individual awards and team awards. All nominees display exemplary character. Individual nominees are judged by the following: the degree of job difficulty they perform, the importance of that job to the success of their unit's mission, individual job performance, leadership, education, and self-improvement efforts, and off-duty contributions to the base and community. Team nominations are judged with an emphasis on the contribution that team makes to the overall mission. Scowcroft nominations are selected from units from within Air Force Materiel Command and Air Force Global Strike Command. Nominations are then presented each year to the Chapter 235 members who complete a daunting task of selecting the winners. I would like to thank those chapter members who took their time to help us with this difficult task of selecting winners. They are Scott Warren, Jim Adlin, Megan Saucedo, Rebecca Delgado, and yours truly.
In addition to those just mentioned, I would like for a moment to recognize other individuals who have worked so very hard to make this virtual event successful. Lieutenant John Buckley, Air Force Nuclear Weapons Center, Minuteman III, Hill Air Force Base, Utah. Master Sergeant Guy McCutcheon, Production Superintendent, 576 Flight Test Squadron, Vandenberg Space Force Base, California. Staff Sergeant Jacob Gaithon, Production Assistant, 576 Flight Test Squadron, Vandenberg Space Force Base, California. And to all of the supervisors who took the time to ensure their people were recognized for their hard work and dedication. And a big thank you to all the unit awards and protocol staff.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now our pleasure to introduce to you the 2020 Scowcroft nominees, the very best of the best in ICBM, space, missile, aerospace dominance, and munitions communities. Each nominee will be presented with an engraved award in recognition of being a nominee by their local leadership.
Hello, I'm Colonel Kathy Barrington from the 90th Missile Wing at F.E. Warren Air Force Base, Wyoming. The Mighty 90 provides nuclear combat capability for the United States with 1/3 of the nation's on-alert ICBM force. Our mission isn't possible without outstanding maintainers like Technical Sergeant Ryan Brott of the 790th Maintenance Squadron. Ryan, congratulations on your Brent Scowcroft Award nomination. The whole Wrangler team is proud of you.
We are the 309th Missile Maintenance Group. Our world-class maintainers sustain two legs of our nation's nuclear triad with professionalism and steadfast commitment to quality. Our workforce ensures the readiness of our nation's most lethal force by maintaining and overhauling deterrent systems, from the ICBM launch facility to the booster, from life cycle surveillance of the air-launched cruise missile to the Minuteman III transportation and reentry systems. Proud men and women like Tech Sergeant Melendez keep the world's most destructive weapons on alert to deter our nation's most capable and determined enemies.
I'm Colonel Omar Colbert.
And I am Chief Master Sergeant Ron McLaughlin from the 576 Flight Test Squadron.
We are tasked with verifying and validating the accuracy and reliability of the Minuteman III ICBM weapon system. Our team's mission is foundational to the command's ability to provide ready forces to the warfighter, extended deterrence to our allies, and put our adversaries on notice that we still have the alert.
A key contributor to our mission's success is Master Sergeant Brandon Coble.
The category of ICBM Depot Maintenance Individual recognizes the work of those performing depot-level repairs of ICBMs at Hill and the units. The nominees for the Brent Scowcroft Award for ICBM Depot Maintenance Individual are Master Sergeant Joshua Melendez, Site Supervisor, 309th Missile Maintenance Group, 581st Missile Maintenance Squadron, Hill Air Force Base, Utah. Ladies and gentlemen, our ICBM Depot Maintenance Individual nominees. The ICBM Maintenance and Logistics Individual category recognizes the work of those in the field, the best of the maintainers. The nominees for the 2020 Brent Scowcroft Award for the ICBM Maintenance and Logistics are Senior Master Sergeant Ernest E. Ford, Lead Production Superintendent, 91st Maintenance Group, Minot Air Force Base, North Dakota. Technical Sergeant Brian J. Brott, MAPS Expediter, 90th Missile Wing, 790 Maintenance Squadron, F.E. Warren Air Force Base, Wyoming. Technical Sergeant Thomas Albert Berthman, Manager, Power Refrigeration and Electrical, 20th Air Force, F.E. Warren Air Force Base, Wyoming. Senior Master Sergeant Christopher J. Daniels, Lead Production Superintendent, 341st Missile Maintenance Squadron, Malmstrom Air Force Base, Montana. Master Sergeant Brandon S. Coble, Facility Maintenance Section Chief, 576 Flight Test Squadron, Vandenberg Space Force Base, California. Ladies and gentlemen, the ICBM Maintenance and Logistics Individual nominees.
Good afternoon. I'm Colonel Brian Henson, the Senior Material Leader for the Aerospace Dominance Enabler Division, where we deliver capability for test, training, command and control, and communications. I'm proud to announce our three-team nominees: the Live Mission Operations Capability, Combat Survivor Evader Locator Handheld Radio, and the Tactical Shelters, Radomes and Towers team. Also our individual nominees: Lieutenant Noah Bender, Miss Mackenzie Madsen, and Miss Carol Yates. These great Americans are doing great innovation practices in ensuring that we deliver capability and ensure our warfighters are battle tested and battle ready.
Hello, I'm Colonel Eric Quigley from the Minuteman III Systems Directorate here at Hill Air Force Base, Utah, where our ICBMs are the backbone of America's nuclear deterrent. I want to send a huge congratulations to our 2021 AFA Scowcroft Award nominees, Tech Sergeant Danielle Stocker at F.E. Warren Air Force Base, and the Acquisition Category 2 and Services team here at Hill Air Force Base. Good luck and congratulations to all the nominees at this year's Scowcroft Awards. ICBMs deliver.
I want to give a big GBSD shout out to this year's Scowcroft nominees. Congratulations for another great year. We wouldn't be where we are without you. You guys are doing some amazing things to bring the future faster for the land-based leg of the triad. We couldn't be prouder of you. So congratulations to you all, and ICBMs deliver.
The category of ICBM Acquisition and Sustainment Individual acknowledges outstanding efforts by program managers, engineers, and technicians at the program level. The nominees for the 2020 Brent Scowcroft Award for ICBM Acquisition and Sustainment by an individual are Mr. William L. James, Program Specialist, Ground-Based Strategic Deterrent Systems Directorate, Hill Air Force Base, Utah. Technical Sergeant Daniel P. Stocker, Technical Advisor, Minuteman III Systems Directorate, ICBM Infrastructure Equipment Branch, F.E. Warren, Air Force Base, Wyoming. Ladies and gentlemen, ICBM Acquisition and Sustainment, individual nominees.
Where is possible? Past the edge of convention, beyond the boundaries of tomorrow. Where no idea is too bold and no challenge too great. It's here where we break free from what is to what could be. Because defining the future is impossible until it's not.
The category of ICBM Acquisition and Sustainment Team highlights outstanding efforts by a team in the acquisition and sustainment of an ICBM-related program. The nominees for the Brent Scowcroft Award for ICBM Acquisition and Sustainment by a team are GBSD MILCOM Facilities Program Team, Ground-Based Strategic Deterrence, System Directorate, Hill Air Force Base, Utah. Team Lead, Mr. Matt Regan. The ICBM Cryptographic Upgrade Increment 2 Team, Minuteman III Systems Directorate, ACAT Acquisition Branch, Hill Air Force Base, Utah. Team Lead, Mr. Tyler Hodson. Ladies and gentlemen, the ICBM Acquisition and Sustainment Team nominees.
From F-35 Systems Engineering and Sustainment, to radar systems, to space, to enterprise IT solutions, we're part of the mission to detect and deter threats to our nation. Here, everything is done with purpose. Together, we empower those that make the kind of decisions that make it possible for all of us to live life to the fullest. This is why I believe in BAE Systems Intelligence and Security.
The category of Aerospace Dominance Enabler Acquisition and Sustainment Individual highlights outstanding efforts in the acquisition and sustainment for aerospace-related programs. The nominee for the 2021 Brent Scowcroft Award Aerospace Dominance Enabler Acquisition and Sustainment by an individual are Second Lieutenant Noah G. Bender, P-5 Combat Training Systems Engineer, Aerospace Dominance Enabler Division, Hill Air Force Base, Utah. Miss Mackenzie Madison, Joint Threat Emitter, Lead Program Manager, Range Systems Branch, Hill Air Force Base, Utah. Miss Carol Ann Yeats, Logistics Manager Specialist, Aerospace Dominance Enabler Division, Hill Air Force Base, Utah. Ladies and gentlemen, Aerospace Dominance Enabler Acquisition and Sustainment individual nominees.
Keomac is proud to help sponsor this year's Scowcroft Awards. Congratulations to all the outstanding nominees and of course the winners. Whether it is excellence in aircraft sustainment, software and integration, ICBM maintenance, sustainment and logistics, future GBSD acquisition, or supporting ranges for exciting current and future space and C3I activities, we want to thank you all for your outstanding contributions. The men and women of Keomac are here to help you and assure your success and the success of your mission. Congratulations.
The category of Aerospace Dominance Enabler by a team are Combat Survivor Evader Locator Team, Aerospace Dominance Enabler Division, Hill Air Force Base, Utah. Team Lead, Mr. Jack Hill. Tactical Shelters, Radomes, and Towers Team, Aerospace Dominance Enabler Division, Hill Air Force Base, Utah. Team Lead, Mr. Chuck DeHolst. Live Mission Operations Capability Team, Aerospace Dominance Enabler Division, Hill Air Force Base, Utah. Team Lead, Lieutenant Colonel Gary Barker. Ladies and gentlemen, the Aerospace Dominance Enabler Team nominees.
The Strategic Deterrent Coalition is proud to be a sponsor of the 2021 Scowcroft Awards of the AFA Northern Utah Chapter. Since 2013, SDC has supported maintaining America's nuclear deterrent and serves to inform government leaders and the public of its critical importance. The SDC Board of Directors and Regents congratulate both nominees and recipients. Your resolute service makes the Triad's land-based component never doubted, always feared.
The category Supply Chain Management individual. Category signifies work in the arena of acquisition and sustainment, supporting supply chain activities and platforms managed under the 748 Supply Chain Management Group. This award goes to the individuals whose efforts were critical in keeping combat forces platforms supplied with the necessary parts to keep our warfighting capabilities viable. The nominees for the 2021 Brent Scowcroft Award for the Supply Chain Management Acquisition and Sustainment individual are Leslie M. Ward, 2010 Booster Flight Control Item Manager, 414th Supply Chain Maintenance Group, Hill Air Force Base, Utah. Ladies and gentlemen, the Supply Chain Management individual nominees.
Greetings to the ICBM community. I'm Matt Steele of Aerojet Rocketdyne. We are proud to be part of the long legacy of men and women that has supported ICBMs since its inception. We currently supply solid rocket motors and liquid propulsion systems to not only the Minuteman IIIs that are in the field right now, but also the ground-based strategic deterrent systems that will come in the future. We'd like to recognize and thank all the Scowcroft awardees and nominees for their hard work in helping to protect this great country.
The category of the Supply Chain Management, Acquisition and Sustainment Team of the Year nominees are Reentry System Team, 414th Supply Chain Management Squadron, Hill Air Force Base, Utah. Team Lead, Mr. Kip Mollendorf. Ladies and gentlemen, the Supply Chain, Acquisition and Sustainment Team nominees.
General Dynamics Mission Systems, as a proud partner of the United States Air Force, congratulates the 2021 Scowcroft Award winners and nominees. Your dedication and commitment to the acquisition and sustainment of critical capabilities highlights the importance of the United States Air Force role in the defense of our great nation. General Dynamics Mission Systems remains committed to executing that mission. We salute you for your dedication and commitment. Congratulations.
Finally, our munitions individual category signifies work in the operational arena of munitions and stockpile related activities. In other words, this award goes to an ammo individual whose efforts were critical in keeping combat forces supplied with necessary munitions to deliver bombs on target in theaters of operation. The nominees for the 2021 Brent Scowcroft Award for munition individuals are Senior Airman Ariel M. Arroyo, Custody Account Technician, 649th Munition Squadron, Hill Air Force Base, Utah. Technical Sergeant Michael S. Owens, Production Supervisor, 649th Munition Squadron, Hill Air Force Base, Utah. Technical Sergeant Tobias M. McGuire, Precision Guided Munitions Production Supervisor, 649th Munition Squadron, Hill Air Force Base, Utah. Ladies and gentlemen, the Munitions Logistics and Maintenance nominees.
It is now my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker. We are thrilled to have Lieutenant General Morris speak this year. Lieutenant General Sean Morris is the commander of the Air Force Life Cycle Management Center, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, Ohio. The center is responsible for total life cycle management for aircraft, engines, munitions, electronics, computers, networks, cyber, and agile combat support systems. The center employs over 28,000 people and has an annual budget of $258 billion. Lieutenant General Morris was commissioned through the U.S. Air Force Academy in 1988. Since that time, he has held a number of key acquisition and sustainment positions on Air Force space and weapons systems, staff positions on the Air and Joint Staffs, and commander positions at the squadron, group, wing, and center level. Lieutenant General Morris is no stranger to the Air Force nuclear deterrent mission. Prior to assuming his current position, he was Commander, Air Force Nuclear Weapons Center, Kirkland Air Force Base, New Mexico. And in 2010, he served as Vice Commander here at Ogden Air Logistics Center, Hill Air Force Base, Utah. And one of his earlier assignments was at Norton Air Force Base in California as a program manager for the National Launch System. We are extremely fortunate to have Lieutenant General Morris speaking to us today. He understands the nuclear deterrent mission and has experienced firsthand the trials and tribulations, but also the proud satisfaction that our airmen experience every day as they maintain and enhance the incredible, powerful, and complex capability. Please welcome Lieutenant General Morris, Commander, Air Force Lifecycle Management Center.
Hi everybody, I'm Lieutenant General Sean Morris, Commander of the Air Force Lifecycle Management Center, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be here with you today to help acknowledge your fantastic work and the recognition you get for being nominated for these awards. You might be wondering why I'm standing in the middle of a field in front of a railroad car to do that, and I will get to that point in a minute. But I wanted to start with congratulations and thank you. Thank you for everything that you do for this nation. Thank you for what you do with our strategic deterrent. And I will come back to that in a minute when I talk about this railroad car. And for a few of the seasoned members of your team may actually know what this is behind me, but there aren't a lot of us left anymore that really do. But I'm actually here at the National Museum of the Air Force. And so as we pan over, you'll see the National Museum, a small paid advertisement for the National Museum. If you've never been here before, I highly recommend you find an opportunity to get to Dayton and visit our National Museum of the Air Force. Absolutely the best Air Force museum in the world. But where I'm standing is out far from the museum in front of the missile launch car that was part of the Peacekeeper Rail Garrison program. And I actually ran the test program not on a rail car, but on this exact rail car that's sitting behind us back in the late 80s and early 90s. And so it's somewhat symbolic that as we recognize your support and everything that you're doing for our strategic deterrent, that I'm standing here. And the reason is, in one case, associated with where the rail car is, and another in case what it represents with regards to what we're doing. And what does it represent? If you think about the late 80s, early 90s, when I was working on this program, really was the last time that we did any major significant modernization to our nuclear deterrent. And we didn't finish any of it. Peacekeeper Rail Garrison, small ICBM program, both run out of the Ballistic Missile Office at Norton Air Force Base at the time, now closed. Were both terminated when we, quote unquote, won the Cold War. And for any of you who may have read The Infinite Game, you know there's no such thing as actually winning a Cold War. But at the time, we declared success, and we really stopped recapitalization, a necessary recapitalization in the time of our strategic forces. We have just now gotten back to doing that again. And so for those of you who are up for awards associated with sustaining or maintaining our legacy systems, my hat's off to you. These systems are old. They've been around a long time, and the challenges with doing the work that you do every day to sustain what is by far the most important element of our national defense, strategic deterrent, is absolutely phenomenal. For those of you who are perhaps engaged in what we're now doing for recapitalization with ground-based strategic deterrent, or maybe long-range standoff cruise missile, or B-21, or any of the new systems that we're finally bringing online, thanks for what you're doing. We as a nation decided to wait until the very last minute, and as they say sometimes in school, when you wait to the last minute, you only give yourself a minute. And so we have really put a lot of pressure on ourselves and on you to make sure that we deliver that next set of programs on time. And so thanks for what you're doing for the nation. But again, why here? Well, I think it's interesting because it's representative, I think, of how we think about strategic deterrence sometimes. So I'll often ask people when they visit the museum what their favorite exhibit was. And then, oh, by the way, it's never the Peacekeeper Rail Garrison car, is never the answer to that question. But I will often ask them, did they even notice it? Did you see the rail car, when you drove into the museum? And as of yet, I've actually had nobody who even noticed that this was here. And it is kind of out by itself. But it's representative of what you do and what we do in strategic deterrence every single day. It's there, it's visible, but it's very rarely actually seen. People live in areas where we do this, but they don't know that you're doing it, and they don't know why it's so important and how strategic deterrence is actually the umbrella of defense for our entire nation, under which everything else is protected. But I want to let you know that I know, and many of us now in the Department of Defense know, the critical inputs, the critical sacrifices you make to keep this nation safe. And so, again, thank you for inviting me to be here with you today. Thanks for everything you're doing. Thanks for what you're doing for your units. Thanks for what you're doing for the Air Force. Thanks for what you're doing for this nation. And congratulations again on being selected as nominees or winners for these prestigious awards. Thanks.
It is now time to announce this year's winners. The ICBM Depot Level Maintenance Individual 2021 Brent Scowcroft Award winner is Master Sergeant Joshua Melendez, Site Supervisor, 309th Missile Maintenance Group, 581st Missile Maintenance Squadron, Hill Air Force Base, Utah. Sergeant Melendez managed the 2nd Missile Buildup, supervising 8 personnel on 41 tasks for the Fuse Test Unit program, valued at $2 billion. Additionally, he served as a subject matter expert for the Flight Test, Telemetry, and Termination program, refining the shape, charge, installation plan for the future test system supporting the Rapid Execution Initiative for 2024 deployment. Sergeant Melendez demonstrated exceptional managerial skills by unifying the section's in-shot and telework schedules over 7 months, executing 2 operational test launches, and demonstrating to the world the United States nuclear deterrence capability remained fully operational during the global pandemic. The winner of the 2021 Brent Scowcroft Award for Excellence in ICBM Maintenance and Logistics is Technical Sergeant Thomas Albert Berthium, Manager, Power Refrigeration and Electrical, 20th Air Force, F.E. Warren Air Force Base, Wyoming. Sergeant Berthium's leadership and expertise were instrumental in developing 3 operational execution modifications that saved command's 9-year emergency power battery age-out plan valued at $475 million. Sergeant Berthium was Global Strike Command's facility power expert, directing a supply-level battery replenish, solving a 5-year wing backlog while surging enterprise inventory through 2027. He was one of 6 hand-picked selects for the 2021 Stryker Titan program, in which he was coined by the Chief of the Air Force Global Strike Command upon completion for excellence as a reformed nuclear deterrence advocate. The 2021 Brent Scowcroft Award winner for the ICBM Acquisition and Sustainment Individual Excellence is Technical Sergeant Daniel P. Stocker, Technical Advisor, ICBM Infrastructure Equipment Branch, F.E. Warren Air Force Base, Wyoming. Sergeant Stocker led 10 instructors for the largest facility course rewrite in a decade. Her actions led to graduating 170 students while improving throughput rates by 15%. She is pivotal in the advisement to the $9 billion Minuteman III weapon system development team for identifying the air education and training command capabilities and limitations for the next generation nuclear deterrent mission. Her technical expertise led to being coined by the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force and earning the Air Force Achievement Medal for outstanding performance. The 2021 Brent Scowcroft Award for ICBM Acquisition and Sustainment Excellence for a team is the ICBM Cryptographic Upgrade Increment 2 Team, ACAT Acquisition Branch, Hill Air Force Base, Utah. The ICU team led the resolution of Air Force Global Strike Command's highest priority upgrade, continuing progression on the $428 million program towards providing unprecedented capability of performing a remote code change, setting the cryptographic standard for the 450 missile intercontinental ballistic missile fleet through 2075. Additionally, the team executed the revamped production strategy that forged a cross-program efficiency plan which accelerated systems building by over 4 years and saved over $102 million. Furthermore, the program successfully broke down production barriers by hand-carrying critical components and producing nuclear-certified depot support equipment, enabling operational certification of the ICU-2 hardware for fielding. Finally, the team's innovative use of commercial off-the-shelf equipment also allowed the program to reduce timelines and increase production and fielding efficiencies, thereby accelerating the change to the field, ultimately leading to a reduction of 55,000 maintenance hours and 450 open launch facilities each year. The 2021 Brent Scowcroft Award for Excellence in Aerospace Dominance Enabler, Acquisition and Sustainment by an individual is Miss Mackenzie Madison, Joint Threat Emitter Lead Program Manager, Range Systems Branch, Hill Air Force Base, Utah. Miss Madison overcame countless challenges to successfully execute key program activities in support of production and fielding of the Joint Threat Emitter Electronic Warfare Test and Training System. She led the effort to establish a first ever vital factory acceptance testing process, and in the partnership with DCMA was able to field 15 units in the middle of a countrywide pandemic lockdown. These actions allowed for the recapture of countless months of lost schedule and kept vital training assets operating to maintain military readiness. The 2021 Brent Scowcroft Award for Outstanding Support in Aerospace Dominance Enabler Acquisition and Sustainment by a Team is Combat Survivor Evader Locator Team, Aerospace Dominance Enabler Division, Hill Air Force Base, Utah. The Cecil team distinguished themselves as a joint program of record for Cecil handheld radio used for combat search and rescue operations in peer-to-peer contested environments. The team was instrumental in delivering enhanced system capabilities with the implementation of the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency map of the world functionality that provided the detailed mapping overlays and geofencing capabilities into the Cecil web application to help focus combat search and rescue operations for COCOM commanders that led to the successful rescue of 2 F-18 aviators that ejected over the Philippine Sea. Additionally, the team excelled in ongoing acquisition activities across the program that yielded a combined savings of $9 million. The team focus on innovation and advanced technologies has set the foundation for future battlefield engagements to meet the demands of the combat rescue vision for 2035. The 2021 Brent Scowcroft Award for Outstanding Support in Supply Chain Management, Acquisition and Sustainment by an individual is Leslie M. Ward, 2010 Booster Flight Control Item Manager, 414th Supply Chain Maintenance Group, Hill Air Force Base, Utah. Ms. Ward clearly displayed exceptional job performance and consummate leadership as the item manager for the 414th busiest integrated product team and toughest weapons program, solely responsible for steering the reduction strategy for the 582nd Missile Maintenance Squadron's mission impaired hours from 430 hours to less than 72 hours, resulting in an 83% reduction. To continue developing her professional skill sets, Leslie is currently taking classes towards her master's degree. Miss Ward makes time to support her community by assisting elderly neighbors with chores and providing relief from pandemic-driven isolation. She also is a monthly volunteer at her local community church nursery caring for newborns. The 2021 Brent Scowcroft Award for Outstanding Support in Supply Chain Management, Acquisition and Sustainment by a Team is Reentry Systems Team, 414th Supply Chain Management Squadron, Hill Air Force Base, Utah. The Reentry System Team provide exemplary management and control of their active national stock numbers in support of the intercontinental ballistic missile Minuteman III a critical mission in ensuring our nation's national security. While performing regularly scheduled file maintenance, the team identified 12 unauthorized budget code changes. Upon further analysis, the team uncovered another 134 budget codes that had been altered. Recognizing a systematic problem, the team did a deep dive review of nearly 4,000 national stock numbers, which resulted in a cataloging actions to correct wrong budget codes and identified an outdated test plan that needed to be rescinded. Convincing AFSC to rescind the test requirement ultimately led to reducing an unfunded buy by over $300 million, preventing the working capital fund from becoming insolvent. These accomplishments reflect the great dedication of the reentry team in their support of the Minuteman III mission and keeping the system ready 24/7, 365 days a year. Finally, the winner of the 2021 Brent Scowcroft Award for Excellence in Conventional Munitions. Senior Airman Ariel M. Arroyo, Custody Account Technician, 649th Munitions Squadron, Hill Air Force Base, Utah. Airman Arroyo coordinated and led 66 personnel during 48 inventories to ensure accountability for the largest stateside Air Force munitions stockpile, valued at $875 million. Additionally, Airman Arroyo co-led the identification of 62 software flaws with the newly launched Theater Integration Munition System. Her expertise drove 8 system-level software updates, impacting 12,000 users Air Force-wide. Furthermore, Airman Arroyo filled a non-commissioned officer role by overseeing the scheduling operation for 2 sections consisting of 45 personnel. She managed the munitions support for 33 base agencies, ultimately accumulating in the squadron winning the 2020 Maintenance Effectiveness Award for AFMC. Finally, Airman Arroyo empowered the Air Force Depot repair mission by expediting 269 issues consisting of 147,000 munitions assets to 15 wing organizations, ensuring 32 depot aircraft were returned to combat-ready status.
Each year, the winners' names are engraved on a plaque that is held by the unit at the Hill Air Force Base representing the category. The plaques will be delivered to each unit commander to be displayed at a prominent location in their unit's facility. The ICBM category plaque will be presented to the Director, ICBM Systems Directorate, Air Force Nuclear Weapons Center, Colonel Jason Bartolome, and Colonel Eric Quigley. The Air Dominance Enabler category plaque will be presented to the Director, Air Dominance Enabler Division, Air Force Life Cycle Management Center, Colonel Brian Henson. The Supply Chain category plaque will be presented to the Commander, 748 Supply Chain Management Group, Air Force Sustainment Center, Colonel Mark Tate. The Conventional Munitions category plaque will be presented to the Commander, 649th Munitions Squadron, Air Base, Air Force Sustainment Center, Lieutenant Colonel Naomi Banchetti.
Hello, my name is Rebecca Delgado. Lieutenant General Morris, we want to thank you for your support for this event and gracious remarks this evening. To show our appreciation, we are proud to present you with the Jack Price Fellowship Memento. In addition, the Northern Utah chapter will present a check in your name to the Utah Aerospace Education Foundation to help support STEM education and recognize outstanding STEM educators in the wonderful state of Utah. At this time, I would like to introduce to you a member of Chapter 235 and the President of the Aerospace Education Foundation, Dr. Scotty Nolan.
Your Northern Utah Air Force Association chapter continues to be actively engaged at the local, state, and national levels. This year, our chapter was recognized with the Aerospace Education Achievement Award, reflecting the many great projects and events we support to promote educational excellence, particularly aerospace education. Furthermore, our chapter was able to donate over $5,000 for airman scholarships, to the prestigious Pitzenbarger Awards for Community College of the Air Force graduates, and to local STEM Teachers of the Year at the K-8 and the 9th through 12th grade levels. Beyond aerospace education, our chapter's focus on service is a comprehensive commitment to support active duty members and their civilian counterparts through various veterans events, recognition programs, community activities, and civic forums across the state of Utah. In addition to the funding we provide directly to educators and airmen, we are especially proud of our work with our other state AFA chapters, supporting Utah Gold Star families during the Christmas season. We also enable Utah's wounded airmen to attend both the Warrior Games and the Invictus Games through financial grants. And we support the world-class Hill Aerospace Museum and its Utah Aerospace Heritage Foundation. So to summarize, AFA's objectives are to educate, advocate, and support our nation's Air Force mission and aerospace power capabilities. I'm inviting you to join our ranks. If you're looking for a chance to get involved, please consider joining and participating in part of something great, the Air Force Association.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the 2021 Scowcroft Virtual Awards Ceremony. We look forward to seeing you at the next year's event, hopefully in person at a banquet. Thank you for watching, and please stay safe.